welcome to our fourth in the series, speaker series for 2017. We were focusing on food manufacturing in Sheboygan County. We are honored and privileged to have Chuck Miesfeld here from Miesfeld Meat Market, third generation market owner, and we're very happy that he's here to share the story of his family business and just how exactly they grew from a little corner place to a quite substantial place out there on the fringes of the city. So let's welcome Chuck Miesfeld.
Thank you. Anybody not get a pamphlet and a sausage and that? Everybody good? Okay. Well, thanks for coming tonight, everybody. I'm just going to give you a little history of Miesfeld's Market. I'll start right from the beginning. If you have any questions or you want to break in while I'm talking, feel free to do so. This is very informal. Just throw something at me or raise your hand or something. So, my grandfather started Miesfeld's Market in 1941, and then my father took it over in the late 60s, and I stepped in and became president of the business in 1991. I started when I was 10 years old. My first job was to vacuum the store on Friday nights. So I would come in for 2 hours and vacuum the store, and I'd get 50 cents. And we were, I don't know how many of you know the store back then, but we were known as the store with the market with the red carpet, because we were one of the only stores in Sheboygan that actually had carpeting in it. So that's where I got my start. And then at about 12 years old, I started working summers, and I started in the sausage kitchen hanging brats. And I started doing that, and when I wasn't playing football, baseball, or basketball, I was always working. I love sports, so I tried to do that as much as I can. I've got to give my dad a lot of credit, because he never forced me into the business, never said this is what you should do, you have to follow my footsteps. He always let me do what I wanted to do, and it worked out good because I got to do my sports in grade school. When I got to high school, I made up my mind I wanted to work and help him in the business, and I don't regret that one bit. So, after working nights after school, I would get out of school and I would go right to work till 7 or 8 o'clock at night. And in the summer, even when I was 14, 15 years old, I was always working 70, 80 hours a week. I loved doing it, so I did it a lot. I was one of the few kids on the block that had a new bicycle because I worked and I got money, so it paid off. I went to meat cutting school at Southwest Tech in Fenimore, Wisconsin. They had a program called the All-Around Butcher Program, which isn't there anymore. It required you to take 3 parts of the business. You had to do slaughtering, which I didn't care for, but we had to do it, sausage making, and then meat cutting. It was a good experience. Learned a lot from that. I just remember I'd go during the weekend, and weekends I'd come home and work at our store and then drive back. And I remember my dad always saying, you're learning, but we have it our way here. So I'd come back and roll a roast. He'd go, what are you doing? So well, that's how I was taught. So we kind of, it was a good base, but not the only way to do it or the way he wanted me to do it. So I learned quick. Despite writing my career paper on being an airline pilot, after graduating, I kind of knew that sausage making was what I wanted to do. So after about 10 years making sausage, I graduated from school, and the first job I did when I came back is I took over the sausage kitchen. It just happened at that time that one of our sausage guys, the head guy, quit, so I kind of slid in there, and it worked out pretty good. So I had a lot to learn, but I had 2 good teachers, my grandpa and my dad. So after 10 years in the sausage kitchen and 60 state and national awards later, 1987, Miesfeld's won the President's Trophy for our Grand Champion Summer Sausage at the Wisconsin Association of Meat Processors. So I started entering contests my first or second year in the sausage kitchen, and we ended up winning a lot of awards, which really helped boost our business. We got good recognition from it. We were one of the only plants that scored a perfect 1,000 for our summer sausage, which was really cool. That same year, we won 2 awards for our Grand Champion Bratwurst. We took first in the state and second in the nation. So 87 was a really good year for us, kind of kicked things off for us. We drew a lot of attention that year, and we had a large local supermarket chain that wanted us to make their summer sausage for them. So I met with them, and they had about 70 stores, and I really wanted to jump on that challenge. I thought it'd be, really a good thing to do. It was a little different than what we're used to. But first, of course, I had to convince my dad that we needed $400,000 in equipment to do this. And believe me, he didn't just write me a check. He always made me come up with a plan and how long it would take to pay for it, and write it all down, and which I did. And then, like I say, he was very fair. I did my homework. He gave me his blessings, and we went ahead, and Diamond Quality Summer Sausage for Piggly Wiggly chain was born. I don't know if anybody remembers that or not, but we made all the Diamond Quality sausage for them. Then in 1990, my father was diagnosed with cancer. He was given 1 year to live, and 345 days later, he passed away. So I kind of became the president of Miesfeld's at that time. That was 1991. I guess I'll never forget his last words to me. He said, "Son, don't let the business take you down." And the reason he said that is because at that time in 91, there was a lot of big supermarkets that were coming into Sheboygan, and they were really making a big push. The Walmarts were pushing. At the old Miesfeld's, where it was S&B, if you remember that area, a supermarket went in there. I think it was Red Owl. Yeah, so they came in, and the second week they were in there, I remember the manager of that store came over by us to look our place over and stuff, and I remember he said to my dad, he said, "Well, I'll give you about 2 months and you'll be out of business." Guess who's still here? And you think about, if you think years ago, we used to have 9 or 10 small, butcher shops around the city of Sheboygan. You had, Gross's, Bensman's, St. Piles. I mean, there's a lot of little posts, a lot of little grocery stores. Now there's about 4 of us left, or 2 of us left actually now, if you want to call them butcher shops. And I think the words that my dad said to me, "Don't let this business take you down," is what he meant was, don't try to keep the family name going and go bankrupt or lose all your money to try to keep, feeding it if it's not going to work. Because like I say, at that time, we were not doing real good. We weren't real successful, I should say, profit-wise. We were busy, but we weren't, real successful. So I think those words stuck with me so much that's what really gave me the drive to just keep this thing going. And after that, I really kind of stepped it up. The challenges I had when my dad passed away is, I never did payroll, I never did taxes, I never did any of that stuff. I was always hands-on and lifting tubs and grinding and making sausage. I never did the HR part of it, So that was something I really had a challenge to work out. I had a good friend in the business, John Alfieri, his name is, and he's third. It's funny how similar we are. He was third generation. His dad and my dad were friends. His grandpa, my grandpa were friends. They would call on us because he owned a spice company in Neenah, Menasha. So those guys would come in and sell us spices, and then John would come along, and we got to be good friends. He's, I think, 8 years older than I am, but I kind of leaned on him to help me through, and he was a very smart guy. I mean, he helped me out and gave me a lot of good advice, and I was really glad to have him aboard. So the next 8 years, after 91, the next 8 years, I really worked hard. I started getting our products a lot of recognition. We were in a lot of local supermarkets. We expanded our sausage line from 20 to 60 different products. And so we started running out of room at the Triangle at 15th and Calumet. So we decided, what are we going to do here? So we decided to buy the Northside Auto Parts that was there. So we bought that building, and there was a house in between us. We tore that down, thinking we might want to expand in that area. So after that, we looked it over, and that neighborhood is really changing back at that time. I mean, we used to know all the people there, and it just started switching, and it was like, do we really want to stay here? People that we used to let come in, and my grandpa would let them charge for a month until they got their Social Security checks, and if they had a tough time, he would write it on a piece of paper, and those days are gone, But he trusted everybody. He was a good man, and it worked out. I'm sure he got burned by a few, but he was good that way. So my buddy John and I started looking for places to possibly build a new store. We looked at, there wasn't a lot in the city to look at, and we didn't know about going outside of the city. That's kind of taboo. So we started looking north, and we looked on 42. The first couple opportunities were like the open fields where the bank is now, and there's the Concept Motors car lot. We looked at that building. Before that, we looked at County Trunk Y and 42 going out to Howard's. We thought maybe that corner would be, So we looked at a lot of different places, and then there was a spot, the old church on County Trunk Y, where now is Gander Mountain. We thought that'd be an ideal spot. So we looked at that, and we called that up, and I think it was 3 attorneys that owned it, and they said, yeah, we'll be glad to sell it. $1.2 million. And I'm like, okay, how many brats do I got to stuff for that? That was pretty much out of the question. So it was a tough decision to move where we did. We found the land from Professional Supply, owned the land we're on now, and he wanted to sell it. He wanted to see businesses come out there. So it really worked out good for us. The questions we had were, would our loyal customers come out that far? I mean, some people were like, "You're going way out there." It's like, well, you don't have to pack a lunch. I mean, it's, but I understood that, and so we did some surveys, and had people tell us what they thought about going out there, and a lot of the people we had on the south side found they could jump the highway and get there really quick without going through the city and avoiding all the traffic. So we figured we'd take a shot at it. A couple of the things were, would the bank give me a loan? That was the first thing I had to worry about. There was rumors of a mega Walmart going up out there, so I was like, now now I made my decision on the land. Now am I going to have a Walmart right next to me? And what's that going to do to my business? Who's going to come by me when there's a Walmart there? So all these things, kept going through my head, and I didn't know if the big grocery stores would hurt us or help us, or So after many, many sleepless nights, a couple old fashions, I decided to start planning the new Miesfeld's Market, which was pretty scary. I mean, at that time I was 41 years old, so not real old, not real young, but and I figured, the best way to go about building Miesfeld's, or to even attempt it, would be to ask the people that work for me. I figure if I'm going to put up a sausage kitchen, who would know better than the sausage maker what size kitchen he'd want? So I went to all my key people and pretty much asked them, design a room. So the sausage guys designed their room, the meat cutters designed their room. So we all got together, and it worked out pretty good. I had to tone them down a little bit because it wasn't their money, of course, but it worked out good. And I did just what my dad did. I made him tell me why. Tell me why you want such a big one. So, and they said, well, we need it for this and this, and it worked out good. And so on July 21st, 1999, we broke ground on our new facility. One of the things that I wanted to do at the old store was, and my dad and I always talked about it, was put in a drive-through, and we just thought that'd be really neat, And once the railroad track by our old store went dead, we thought, well, maybe we could have it on that side, but the city never would allow us to have where you pull off and then go pull back on. So the first thing I designed in my new store was a drive-through for my dad. So we have that going, and it really works out nice. I mean, you have bad weather, you have someone with young kids, you have elderly, handicapped. They can call in their order and just, we'll put it together. They trust us to give them a good selection and never leave your car. So it kind of worked out really good for us. So, and I believe we're the only one around that does that. So So we went from 5,000 square feet at the old store and 11 employees to 28,000 square feet and 40 employees at the new store. So we took quite a bump there. And then in 2000, that was 1999. In 2007, which is just eight years later, we actually doubled the size of our retail and added another 8,000 square feet in the back. So we weren't out there that long, and we had to add on already, so, which was a good thing. Today we deliver to about 75 supermarkets, about 90 restaurants, like Gussie's, Schultz's, Black River, American Club, St. Nicholas Hospital, both Rupp's restaurants, Charcoal Inns. So we sell to a lot of the local restaurants. Last month we added 5 more smokehouses. We added a new packaging room with a high-tech roll stock packaging machine, a laser bacon slicer that can do 1,800 slices a minute. They never call in sick either. And that's all the result of a supermarket chain of 26 stores, and within 4 years they're going to have 52 stores. We just took on a private label program for them, so we're going to be making all their sausage, 14 different items under their name, but we'll be making it. So it's a pretty big undertaking for us. We started with them 4 months ago, and their first order was corned beef for St. Patrick's Day. So we made some, gave them a sample, they liked it, and they said, yeah, we'll order it. So their first order was 50,000 pounds. 3 semis. It's like, oh my God. So I had 8 guys with knives cutting 12 hours a day, so we did it, but didn't really expect that. But and now, we have we've grown into like 30 flavors of brats. One thing we do every year is we have a brat contest, and we put it out to the public. You can send in your entries, and we pick 2 winners. It's kind of fun. You can't believe that some of the stuff we get. And then so you name it, we have to make it though. So we have to design it, and it has to actually work. So when someone sends in a watermelon brat or a peanut butter jelly brat, it doesn't work. Some of the new flavors we had, which it's fun. We had chicken brat with black olives and feta cheese. That sound good? Hawaiian brat with pineapple and ham, and a double bacon cheeseburger brat. So we get some good ideas, and it's fun. It's fun creating it. And then what we do is we put the person's name on the package for the first year, so so that's kind of fun doing that. We started making our own pizzas. We call them Chuck's pizzas. We have 7 varieties, including a double brat pizza, which is a big seller. 11 varieties we started homemade pot pies, which are really popular now. We've got 12 flavors, 11 flavors of those. So, and they're the real big ones, so we sell a ton of those, and they're good. 12 flavors of marinated chicken breasts. So we're always expanding, trying to keep up with all the supermarkets and all the the big places, and we just try to keep learning, and we take all our employees' ideas and meet once a week and see what we can do to keep things better. Let's see, where are we here? Oh, in 2008, my nephew was diagnosed with leukemia. So at that time, Don and Donna Sweeten approached me, and his brother, who I graduated with, who I knew, died in a motorcycle accident. And the timing was probably perfect because my nephew was down at Children's Hospital, and they came in, they said, we want to start this event, and or a fundraiser. And I said, well, okay. And they said, well, you have brat fries out here. I said, yeah, we do. And they said, maybe we could have a brat fry out here. I said, sure. So we had a brat fry at Miesfeld's, and I think it went over really big. It raised like $1,400 on a Saturday. So then they met with me the next week, and they said, that was great, but we just have little bigger things in mind. And I'm like, well, what are you talking? I don't know if anybody heard of Miesfeld's Lakeshore Weekend. That's what started that. So we started that, and in 8 short years, we've raised over $1 million for Children's Hospital. And believe it or not, that benefits 2,700 kids in Sheboygan County. It's really weird how if you talk to anybody that has children that's ever been sick other than a cold, where do they go? They go to Children's Hospital. It's a wonderful place, you know. So we've been able to donate. Each year we pick items. Like last year we donated to the Herma Heart Center, cameras and things. The year before that we donated 100 pediatric beds. Year before that we put in 2 scanners for the NICO unit. So it's really a good thing, and it's really become a great event for us, and we're raising a lot of good money for good reason. A couple of the other charities that are kind of close to me that I support very well is the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I'm very much into that. Last year I was able to, there was a Sheboygan, I try to request a Sheboygan County person, and last year there was a little boy who had cancer and he always wanted a horse, so I bought him a horse. And a place to keep it for 3 years, and then all the food and the hay and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. I get pictures from him once in a while. So another thing is the Sharon Richardson Hospice is very close to me. My mother passed away there, and I got to spend a lot of time there. She was there 90 days, so got to know a lot of the people and things like that. So that's another organization it's unbelievable how people do what they do. So we're very supportive of them. We always have a brat fry at Miesfeld's every Saturday, year-round, and in order to have it by us, you have to be either a nonprofit or a church or an organization that's raising money for a benefit or some kind of cause. It can't be just to raise money to have money. And we're booked through November of 2018. So yeah, we're always 2 years out. It's amazing. It's just amazing. And we have groups that, you know, they raise anywhere from $500. We had one group raise $4,000 on a Saturday. So it's been very successful, and people, they like coming out by us. It works really good. So we've won Retailer of the Year award in 2011, 13, 14, and just last month in 16. And as I said in my acceptance speech then, these awards are possible because of a lot of support from our customers that have trusted us throughout all the years. It's pretty neat when you see children and grandchildren of people that I waited on 40 years ago still coming into your store. That's pretty neat. I mean, it's, you know, so they're young shoppers now, and to see the families keep following tradition is really a neat thing. We've got a great dedicated staff. I can't say enough about that. We've had one, Ken Zastro, who worked for us. He retired 2 years ago. He was with us 52 years. My manager, Tracy Messner, has been with us 34 years. My sausage maker, Eric Landwehr, has been with us 31 years. So we've got a good longevity of employees. So we try to treat them right. So we try to keep them to stick around. I guess what makes Miesfeld's different than buying meat or sausages somewhere else, I get asked that a lot. I think we're different because we're a full-service meat market. We still consider ourselves old-fashioned, but we do things in a modern way. But we try to keep the old-fashioned values. Every customer that comes in the door is acknowledged, gets personal attention. There's a lot of people that we can call by first name, and we try to train our staff to acknowledge people and spend time with people. So if they ask how to cook something, or if they have any technical questions, they're trained to answer that. You don't have to ring a buzzer. And the interest in cooking and grilling at home we feel is steadily increasing. So we think it's important to educate people when they come in and they spend $30 on steaks. You want them to have something good that they can eat, not something that they have to throw away. So it's an investment. So we want to make sure they get the best investment from us, and that they're satisfied. We have a Chef's Gourmet Corner in our store. Our in-house chef has been a chef for 23 years. He's got experience with a few restaurants, including the American Club. He makes a lot of creations that are just ready to pop in the oven. A lot of different things he's always working on, which is kind of fun because we get to taste test them. If you need anything special, or you come in and say, could you try this, he'll be glad to do it. So that's kind of neat. He makes a lot of hors d'oeuvres for house parties, a lot of celebrations. He's got a lot of good ideas. 2 weeks we're going to be at the Weill Center for the breast cancer fundraiser, and we dedicate our time and all the hors d'oeuvres for the 2 parties that they have. So he always tries different things there, so it's fun. I guess if there's any customers of ours here tonight, thank you very much. If you've never visited Miesfeld's, I welcome you to give us a try. Our commitment to you is quality products, friendly service at a fair price. We do have a website, it's miesfelds.com. You can go there, sign up for weekly specials. You get all our specials. We run 12, 14 items every week that are really discounted, that are good buys, so it's worth signing up for that. And thank you for inviting me here tonight. It's my pleasure to be a part of the program. I hope there's lots of questions, because I can't talk for an hour and a half.
Any questions, anybody?
Someone's got to have a question.
Do you have any sons that are going to take over after you?
I do not. I have no children. I've got a lot of animals. So what's going to happen? I don't know. Just keep working, I guess. No, I don't know. I hope the name carries on. I think there's someone out there that would appreciate it as much as I do, maybe, and keep the name going, and and try to be dedicated. That's what I hope for. Yes?
There are 4 cheese companies in the county that work closely together, just like there are 4 sausages, you and Brockman and Old Wisconsin and Johnsonville. Do you have the same type of close relationship, or shouldn't I ask?
No, no, that's fine. I mean, we all respect each other, but we don't get together like the cheese companies.
Yeah.
I believe they get together to, it's a little different in the cheese, and I don't want to be quoted on this, but I think they get together on Fridays over a couple beers and set prices. At 52 Stafford. So I wish I could do that, but it doesn't work in our business. But no, we respect each other. I know the Brockmans, Lee and his son, and I've met Ralph Stair, and I know Steve Harrison in Old Wisconsin is a good friend of mine. We go to Packer games. So yeah, but we don't exchange much.
That was going to be my next question. Why don't you have your traditional green Packer shirt on?
Oh yeah, I got to break away once in a while. Yes?
Right at the beginning of your talk, you said, I think it was Brock, somebody got a perfect 1,000.
Oh yeah, our summer sausage did.
That seems like a lot of variables. Like, what are the...
It's, how do they judge it?
Perfect, yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I should have brought a scorecard. It's unbelievable. They break it down and there's 8 separate categories. When you make products for shows like that, people even use magnifying glasses. I mean, it's kind of crazy. We don't do it anymore because it's so putsy work. But they look at appearance, the color, any blemishes, like a little spot or a drip from the smokehouse, or they look how straight the end is clipped. They look if the string is clean. It's crazy. It's really something, and the reason that it's kind of crazy is because when you come in and buy, you want a good product, but do you care if the end is a little crooked? It's not gonna taste any different. So, but that's how they judge it, and they really pick it apart. And yeah, to get 1,000 points out of 1,000 is crazy, and no one's ever done it since. So we're kind of lucky that way. So. John?
Take you back in history. You said you did second in the nation?
Yeah.
How many get into that?
It's usually about 38 to 40 states, and then they pick one state. Every year they go to a different place. Like this year it's in Kentucky. Last year it was in Nevada.
But there's more than one meat market.
Oh yeah. Well,
Quite a few.
yeah. There's probably in the nationals like that. The year that we took second, there was, I believe, like 17 or 18 plants from Wisconsin, and there was 168 total. So yeah, yeah, it's a pretty big thing. And then the next step from that is you can go to nationals in Germany. And that would be the next step. I'm getting too old for that. Well, yeah, you know, that's where all the sausages originated, so. But they do things different over there. They hang chickens in the air, so. You gotta have pretty good guts to eat that stuff over there. Yes?
Where does your product come from? Where do you get your meat?
Our beef, like for sales?
Right.
We try to stay to local companies as much as we can, so we get a lot out of Green Bay. We try to keep with the same grade of beef and the same style of beef, like a Holstein or a Hereford. So we try to stay consistent that way. So I think that's why everything stays. We don't run into any bad ones. And years ago we used to get sides of beef in, and we used to haul them off the truck and then throw them on the table and then break them down. And you still can get that. It's kind of a thing of the past, but if you get a side of beef now, the quality isn't anywhere near what we get in boxes now. Because in boxes, they break them down, they inspect the inside of them too when they break them, and they're vacuum sealed. So it's a lot cleaner, better operation now. That's why we still get calls. People call and they say, we want a side of beef, and I talk them out of it right away, because if you get a side of beef, you lose 30% right off the bat with fat and trimmings, and then you have to take what's there if you buy the whole side. You have to take the shank meat, you have to take the hamburger. If you don't like roast, you got to take the roast. So we always tell people, if you look at our weekly ads, and if you see we have, let's say you like T-bones. Well, if you see we have T-bones on sale, call us up, say, hey, I'll take a dozen of them, wrap them for the freezer, and then you put them in your freezer. You build your own side of beef. Next week you grab 10 chuck roasts, and then you don't have to fork out $600 at one time. So you can kind of go, and you still have the convenience of having it in your freezer at home. So that's a better way to do it to save money, if you want to save money. So, yeah.
Chuck, how do you maintain quality control of all of the products that are produced?
It's a good question. The people that are in charge are trained very well. Like our sausage men, we have 4 guys in there, and like I say, one guy's been there 32 years. The other 2 have worked in the business through Park and Shop and some of the businesses for many years. And as far as the quality, my ordering is the main thing. So I want to go to a company where the quality meat starts. And then you have to go by like with sausage, your leanness, you want to maintain a 80 or 85% lean. These guys they eyeball that, and they're good at that. They're that good, And the spices, we used to get our spices in bulk and then we'd mix them. But, you always have human error. So now we give them our recipe, under lock and key. They blend it for us. And then we just take a bag and we dump that in for 400 pounds. So there's no chance of, putting too much salt in or too much pepper, or guy's got a hangover, he forgot the cure or something like that, which can happen, So that's how we kind of do quality control. And we, all the way down the line, we inspect everything and make sure that I should talk a little bit about inspection. We have an inspector at our place 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. And we have one gal that works just on inspection for 40 hours a week. So it's kind of crazy, but everything has to be written down. I mean, we have to take temperatures of our processing rooms 3 times a day to make sure that nothing got too warm. Our sausage items, if we're selling a ready-to-eat item, it has to meet certain standards. The pH has to be below 5. The moisture protein has to be below 3.2 to 1. We have to document all that, take tests on all that stuff, and write it down. And their theory is if it's not written down, it didn't happen. So they can do a recall right away or something, So it's pretty tricky, and it's not getting any better. It's good. Food safety is good. I agree with 100%. Some of the stuff's a little crazy, though. It's just a little over the top. But we have to do it, and we do it, and, it keeps things on the up and up. So, yes?
You process deer, right?
Yes.
What kind of a part of your business is that? Significant or just?
Pretty big. This is the first year we didn't cut deer because we were remodeling. But normally we cut anywhere between 800 and 1,000 deer. And that generates we usually end up doing about 80 to 90,000 pounds of sausage a year. So we cut the deer in November, we freeze everything, and then we started processing in January, which works good for us because we're over the busy Christmas season. And then it gets slow, so it keeps about 12 people working 40, 45 hours a week for about 3 months. So it's a really good deal for us. Yeah, and that's a big thing for us, really. We've grown that into now we do 16 different items with venison. We started pot pies, and we do all kinds of breakfast sausage, all kinds of Polish, everything now. So yeah, so it's a good business. Yes?
Do you have like state inspectors ever come in unexpectedly, or?
Well, we have one inspector every day, at least 3 hours a day, and we never know.
Come in like from the state?
No, they are the state.
Oh.
Yeah, we are state meat inspected. Yeah, and they, like this morning, I got to work at 5 to 6, he was there. You know, so they want to, a lot of times they'll do what's called a pre-op. So they want to get there before you open up and see how you clean the night before. And they'll write all, you know, go through their checklist, and you never know when they come. You never know what mood they're in, you never know. So one interesting thing we did, we just put in 2 months ago, we put an ozonation system in our building for cleaning. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's really cool. It's when we used to clean, of course we use soap and water, the right temperature water, we'd scrub, and then we'd take swab tests. And our standards are you have to be below 60 parts per million on the swab in order for it to pass. Most meat markets are 100 or less. We go 60 or less. So we did the room, we swabbed it, we were getting 40 to 45 pretty consistently. So we brought in this new system, ozonation system. What it does is it adds molecules to the water, which sanitizes. And so we soap down now, and then we take this ozonation system and we rinse everything. And we did swab tests now, we get one. One. It's amazing. And it just brightened all our machinery up, and it's so cool. I mean, it's really, to assure food safety, it's incredible. And we also have pipes that come into our rooms now, and for 1 hour during the middle of the night, 2 to 3 o'clock, it blows ozonated air in, which is like a double kill. So it's really a good system. It wasn't cheap, but it's, very, very food safe. I mean, you can just tell when you walk in the room in the morning, it smells like a fresh new, like a rain. It's pretty neat. So, anybody else? Yeah.
You have had a lot of success I think, very quickly, and you look poised to grow if you choose to. Do you want to go there?
Bigger? I'm bigger than I want to be already. I honestly, at my age, 4 months ago, I was looking a little at retirement. Well, now I'm just like the opposite. So all this happened so fast. I didn't want to turn it down because, I've got a handshake with about 3 or 4 key people by us that if I ever would sell the business, I won't do it unless they're guaranteed that they stay there, And so I'll stick by that, And they just aren't in the position to take over, so I wish they were. But so if anybody ever would take over Miesfeld's, my key people will be there. So so I'm kind of doing it for myself too, but just for security of the business. This is pretty hard to turn this chain down because they are a great team of people, and they like to buy local. So they're giving us a heck of a shot at this, and then you can hardly turn that down. So it's a big thing for us, Yeah.
Chuck, are you at liberty to say who these people are?
Festival Foods. Yeah, very good people. I got to know the owner a little bit, and it's a very well-run operation, and they're very much with dealing with local people and giving you a fair chance. So yeah, it's been fun. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about your how you do the hams? You smoke your own hams.
Sure. Yeah, we're one of the few around that actually takes the pig's leg and cures it ourselves. Most places buy things in cured or smoked already, and then they just throw it in a smokehouse and re-smoke it. But we actually get the legs in, we bone them out, seam them out, and then we run them through. It's called an injector. It's on a big conveyor belt, and there's 16 needles that come down, and that's what puts in the flavoring and like the cure to cure the ham. And then we put it in we have a big vacuum tumbler. It holds 1,000 pounds. It's like a big dryer. You put your hams in there, and then you draw a negative vacuum. You pull the air out, so it's pulling, and then this thing turns, and then it turns for like 45 minutes, and it stops. And and then that gives the muscle time to relax, and then it's constantly pulling the flavor into the ham. And that also breaks down the proteins of the product. So when they come out, we take 2 of them and put them together, and they stick. It's like glue because you've extracted the proteins in that tumbler. And then you run them in a net, and then we put them in smokehouses, and we cook them for 14 hours. We have to get them up to 160 degrees, and there again, all that has to be charted. We have to prove that it hit that, and we also, when it comes out of the smokehouse, it has to go into a cooler, and we have to make sure that it gets down below 80 within 6 hours, and that has to be charted. So all kinds of safety measures involved with it. You know, it's just not simple anymore. It's not when I used to come to work and I'd have to push the sawdust out of the way on the floor, you know. It's a little different than it was years ago. Years ago, the guy grinding hamburger way back, he'd have a cigarette in his mouth, you know. That's the truth.
On average, how many brats do you make?
A month? I can tell you better by the year because it's so seasonal. We probably do about 800 to 900,000 pounds about a year. Yeah. We do about 2 million pounds of sausage total. So, yeah. It's, you know, the part that you see when you come in Miesfeld's, you see the little part. Big parts in the back. Yes.
I'm a great fan of garlic summer sausage, but occasionally I'll forget in the refrigerator that it's there. How safe is it to eat something that's been there maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks?
Well, yeah, well, you know, you talking about our summer sausage? Because I can't vouch for anybody else. You know, but ours is shelf stable. So actually, if it's sealed yet, we put 240 days on it. And it does not need any refrigeration, our sausage, right? So if yours is opened, you know, let's say it's open and you lay it in there, the only thing that's going to hurt it is the bacteria in your refrigerator. So the outside might get a little moldy on the casing.
Yes.
You take a little vinegar water and wipe that off. It's not hurting the meat at all. That sausage can be, I know guys that get venison sausage, they'll hang it for a year. They'll hang it in the basement for a year. It's like a weapon. But that's a type of sausage. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
And either the sausage itself or cut from the store where I'll just get a dozen.
Well, if it's cut like sliced,
Yeah.
that's a little different.
Right.
That's because it's not holding together, and then you're exposing a lot of it to bacteria.
Right.
The sliced stuff, that's kind of 10 to 14 days
Okay.
on the slice. But if you have a piece, a chunk, that you don't even have to worry about. Yeah. Yes.
How do you handle the waste material?
You know, we don't have that much, really. I mean, it's not like years ago. Again, I'm trying to think of how many items we have that come in with actually have bones in them. You know, all our rounds are boneless. The T-bones, porterhouse, ribeyes are boneless. There's not a lot of bones, and everything that comes in now is a 1/4 inch trim, so we don't have the big fat. So we have probably, I'm going to say maybe 3 inedible barrels a week that go out. Yeah. So it's really not much at all. And then you have some stuff from the sausage kitchen, the casings and stuff like that. But yeah, they pick up once a week by us.
Okay.
Yeah, that's different too. Venison time is a little different when we have all the carcasses. Then we get in a big 60-yard, and we go through 2 of those. So yeah, that's different then. But
What happened with your nephew? Did he get better?
yeah, he about a year ago he got to ring the bell, so he's all okay. So he's what is he? 14 now? 13? It's a little scary. Yeah. So everybody should go through that hospital once. It makes you realize how blessed you are. Yes.
You make brat patties?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Brat patties. We make. We just started a new one. Jalapeno brat patties. Jalapeno cheddar. And we have like, I think 14 different flavors of regular hamburger patties. So that's one thing that's really different than years ago. People, you know, you used to have brats, now you got 30 of them. You know, people just want more variety and different things. You know, they want spicy or not spicy. They want, you know, sweet. Even snack sticks. Now we make 11 different flavors of these beef snack sticks here. 11 different flavors. You know, it's crazy. So everybody's changing their taste buds.
So what is your favorite?
Favorite,
Meat, or, you know, what would you?
well, my favorite steak is a ribeye, because I like fat, and fat is flavor. My favorite brat is a jalapeno cheddar. I like the heat, and then I like the cheddar kind of offsets the heat, so that's my favorite. And my snack stick, probably chicken honey barbecue, because I like the sweetness, so.
What flavor of the chicken do you like best?
Oh, the marinated?
Yeah.
The white chili.
The white chili?
Yeah. Yeah.
Try that one. I've never tried that one.
Yeah, that's one of the newer ones.
How did it come about that you started selling Panera soup?
Actually, our distributor suggested it, and we tried it. It's very good. It's a very good soup. I actually, for a quick lunch, I'll throw it in the microwave. And yeah, it is very good. It's very good quality.
And how do they process that? Because after you buy it, there's a long shelf life.
Yeah, I'm sure that it's the heat and the pasteurized, and then they, like anything else, they seal it probably warm so it doesn't have a chance to, get the bacteria in it. Most things, if you're going to have a longer shelf life, it all has to do with bacteria. There's a sausage company in Denmark that processes sausage. They make it for other companies, and they make a lot of stuff for Hillshire, the rope sausage, the smoked sausage. They have a system that normally on a sausage like that, if you don't freeze it, you get about 45 days. They have it down where they can get 140 days shelf life on it without freezing it. And that's just because the bacteria is so low. They pasteurize it, they seal it right in the bag, then they heat treat it so anything in there would be killed, and then it's never exposed to the air again. So, it's pretty amazing.
As far as your customers go, what would be the longest distance most people would travel to come visit you?
Distance?
Yeah, you got people that you know that come a long time.
Oh, we've had people come from everywhere.
Yeah.
New York the other day, California, almost.
That just came just because they had come to your meeting.
Well, a lot of times they're in town. They don't just drive for that reason. We do a lot of shipping that way. A lot of people that used to live here, a lot of Florida shipping, California shipping, stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, people that heard of us is all over the place. It is amazing. I'll wear my Miesfeld's jacket sometimes, and I'll be in the airport in Las Vegas, and they'll, hey, we heard of you, So I can't get away with anything.
That brings up, in my mind, the use of the internet. Do you get orders?
We really don't. We have a really nice website, but we don't push shipping on the internet. It's just a whole different ballgame. The problem that we had years ago, we used to put on there where you could order off the internet and then you could pay and then we'd ship it. The problem we ended up having, and I guess there's ways around this, but like if someone would order 2 summer sausages and a pound of snack sticks, okay, and they live in California, those are all shelf-stable products. They don't need refrigeration, so you can send them ground, and it costs $12, Okay, now they throw a pack of brats in there. Okay, it jumps from 12 to 60 because we got to go from ground to overnight. And then they're like, what the heck? And they just click off, So what we do is we put on there, please call us. And then we have 2 girls that do that, and they'll walk them through it. And then if that comes up, they'll say, well, because of that, and then, well, okay, then we'll leave it out, we'll take this, So it just works better for us. So. Yes.
Not a question, but a compliment. Thank you for providing such high standards and wonderful quality.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope you're a customer. I guess there's only one thing I really wish my dad and my grandpa could see our place. I really do. Because, and maybe they do. Who knows?
Yeah.
Probably making brats up there.
I'm sure they're looking
And a
out
little
on you.
poker.
I just have to tell you an interesting story that a number of years ago, our son and daughter-in-law live in Virginia, and they called us shortly before we were going out there for graduation, and they wanted 50 brats. Well, my husband thought they said 50 pounds. So we discovered this a couple days before we were going, we called you. They packaged those 50 pounds in 1 pound packages. They were fast frozen. Told us to bring our cooler in. We brought our cooler in. They duct taped that shut. Told us not to open it. And a day and a half later, when we got to Virginia, they were all still frozen.
Oh,
solid.
good.
Wow.
Yeah, it's amazing
What did
how
you do with
good
50
they
pounds
stay.
of brats?
My son-in-law was ecstatic.
You could have had a brat stand. Yes?
Is there anything like pre-cooked hamburgers or anything that are microwavable that would be like frozen, any products like that?
Not hamburgers. We do have chicken patties, pre-cooked brats. The chef's corner is starting to do a lot of pre-cooked, like chicken wings and things like that. Pre-cooked hamburgers are tough. They're tough to do, you know, so we don't really do that. We have pre-cooked sliced gyro meat, and then of course all the lunch meats and stuff. But yeah, we're trying to get into stuff that's faster for the consumer. You know, that you can just come home after work and throw it in the microwave or in the oven for a short time. We make what's called a Fleischbrook. That's becoming very popular. Anybody know what that is? It's German. Are there any Germans out there? It's a meat pocket. We use brat meat, hamburger, and cabbage, and then that's all cooked and it's put in a dough, and then we bake it. So you just have to heat it up. It's pretty good. So we're trying to get into that more. So.
Pasty has really decent potatoes.
Anybody else, or any more comments? Anyone remember going into the old Triangle Market?
Oh, yeah.
Any fond stories that you'd like to share about going into the old Triangle? I'm sure Chuck has a few you wouldn't mind sharing over at the Triangle.
Does anybody complain about the 3 roundabouts to get to?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We always offer to fly them in with our helicopter. No, we give them alternate routes. You know, there are ways you can get to us without a roundabout. Just wait till you get these cars out that don't need drivers, right? They'll be on top of the roundabout.
Could refer to him as the Miesfeld roundabout.
Yeah. You know, I asked the town of Sheboygan sheriff if I could put a big brat on top of there, a big bronze brat, but didn't work.
Somebody really wanted to do that at 8th and Indiana once upon a time.
Yeah.
Before the
Yeah.
statue got there, somebody had an idea to put a bratwurst there.
Yeah. I just figure if I throw it up there sometime, who's going to care? Who would take it down, right?
I forgot, did you say how many staff you have now?
We have 44 right now. Yeah, we just hired 4 more, so.
Well, your manager is excellent.
Yeah, he is. He's very dedicated, yeah. I got good people, I do. John and Janelle's daughter's one of our first woman meat cutters, so, and she's our assistant manager now. She's only been there like 6 years, so she's moving up fast. We've got good people. That's another thing my dad told me, surround yourself by good people. Right?
Where does somebody go to learn meat cutting trade now?
You know, I think Iowa State still has a course, but I'm not sure if they even do. It's a dying thing. It really is. You know, a lot of the supermarkets now, they're not even cutting meat. Like Walmart doesn't cut any meat. Everything comes in prepackaged, you know. Comes from companies all prepackaged. And then they put they gas flush it to get like 14 days on it. I don't know if I'd want to eat hamburger after 14 days. But that's the trend now. So, you know, it's most of it's on the job training, you know. Because I think I graduated in '77 from meat cutting school. I think it went might have gone another 10 years and that was it. And then I know Iowa has just a meat cutting class. It didn't have all the stuff we did, the slaughtering and the sausage making and all that. So there are short courses out there through UW-Madison for sausage making, but you're not going to learn to make sausage in 2.5 days, you know. I was making sausage for 20 years. I still learned, every day I learned something. And that's what was fun. It was always a challenge. You know, there's always something that came up, and you always had to try to solve it. So, yes?
Have you ever thought of offering a session on carving?
Carving meat?
Carving prepared like a turkey or...
Yeah, I mean, we did talk about having like this at our store and have our chef do things, and it probably wouldn't be a bad idea, yeah.
Just before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, yeah. buy a boneless turkey. Yes?
How much attention should a consumer pay to the use-by date?
A lot.
A lot?
Yeah. I mean, there's always leeway there. You know, it's like anything else. There's always, like we put 240 days on our summer sausage. If you 280, you wouldn't be hurt at all. So we put in a barrier there that if it goes over, it's not going to hurt anything. But yeah, you know, I mean, mustard, you know, it's vinegar. But if you're talking meat or something like that, yeah, I would, you got to go pretty close to that. And you can always tell by, you know, fresh products, you can always tell by smell, tackiness, and color. So, yes.
Some of us old-time Sheboygan people still like raw beef and onions on rye bread.
So do some of these young ones.
Just gonna say, I enjoy that, yeah.
Is that still a popular?
Oh yeah, you know, we had a little lull in there when it came out, and everybody was all goofy, and that went away real quick. I mean, we sell, I think, we sell more at Christmas than we do New Year's, which is kind of weird. But I think this last Christmas we sold close to 800 pounds in the 2 days before Christmas. Yeah, and the only thing I can tell you there is, again, know your source. I would not buy that anywhere. And I'm not saying that because I own a market, but here's why. Because, you know, we call it ground round, and that's our ground round compared to a lot of ground round. You can take a piece of round meat that has that much fat on it and run it through the grinder. It's ground round. You're not lying. Our ground round's 100%. It's totally denuded, you know. So if you're buying ground round by us, you can eat it raw. You'll never not be able to, because that's all the way we sell it. You know, we sell it for that purpose. Now, this day and age, we have people that buy it because of the fat. But years ago, that's the only reason they'd buy it, to eat it raw. Otherwise, they'd get hamburger or ground chuck, you know. So, yeah. Yeah, we still sell a lot of it. Yes?
It's nice that you have hams that are a pound or 2 pounds instead of this 10-pound ham.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Senior citizens like us, you still like the ham.
Yeah, we can always cut a piece whatever size you want. Yeah. Yep.
Anybody else?
Any future butchers out there?
Al, right there. He just raised his hand.
You start tomorrow.
Do you sell the different grades of hamburger like you find in the stores, like 85%, 93%? I've seen some as low as 75%.
Yeah, the legal limits is 70. That's as low as you can go by law.
Okay.
We sell 4 different grades. We sell 85, which is our regular hamburger, and then we sell 93, which is ground chuck, 100% or 99%, which is ground round, and then we sell a ground sirloin, that's 88%. So we have 4 grades. Yeah. So our lowest is 85. You get into 70s and half of it's gone, you know.
Thanks again for coming. This rounds out 2017 speaker series. Please remember, we'll be doing this again next year. We haven't quite set on a topic just yet, but we have a couple in our heads that we're working on. And coming up in April, I know this will excite most of you, we're having our special evening event. We're holding a 70s disco. So come on in and wear your wide collar and your polyester suit and dance to ABBA. In May, our third Saturday program will be focusing on mom and pop grocery stores. And we have a pretty solid lineup already, being a couple of months out. So keep those 2 in mind. And again, if you're ever interested in becoming part of the museum family, we have all sorts of volunteering opportunities for everybody. So anything you can do, anything that you're willing to do will be a tremendous help to us, and you'll be welcomed into this great big family of ours here at the museum. So once again, thank you.